Hello everybody, ALLOS here, Ultimate Sketching Creations, and today we're back in Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, where this time we're going to show up the narrator, maybe.
The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 200.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest,
It's
I
powerful.
don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I
don't
guess
know either.
I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused.
Interesting
Look,
thought.
I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises
Skip.
the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer.
Oh.
That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about.
Oh, the
I know
door's
it's
gone.
shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
That was my
I
question.
didn't feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window, or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go?
Oh, God.
Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave?
I have no
Please,
sprint
I'll
button.
take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
You know, I have a feeling something might actually happen if you wait long enough, but I'm afraid I'm not going to wait that long. I am kind of scared of what's going to happen, though. Are we just going to wake in a distant future like it's destroyed Aperture? Hey, I'm sorry, narrator. I'll see you in the future.
Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you, just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, I know you too well. You'll be leaving me oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix
I think he's looping now.
Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I'll
see you in the future.
Who they are. Oh, Stanley, you're back.
God.
You're back. Oh my goodness, I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week, or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right?
It's depressing.
Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real.
Getting existential here.
I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time. That if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward in decay. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it. To think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
He's coming to terms with it. It's not good. But I think he's done now. Well, we might be in for a month, maybe 2 months, maybe a year next time. I'm sorry, narrator. But I am as a human, I only live for so long. I need to move forward.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment, and I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then, this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid, as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Quite dark. I think this might just be more depressing than the suicide ending. The narrator just stuck here in limbo with Stanley's idle body, just waiting for a release. It's really depressing. I'm sorry. Did the narrator die? I didn't think an incorporeal voice could die. I feel like it might be... How does AC units are running, by the way? I have a feeling like if you wait long enough here, he will say something, but it's kind of depressing just sitting here waiting. I'm sorry. This clock is just long broken. This is just depressing now. I think I might have passed through the apocalypse. What the... What? Oh god. The clock has fallen off the wall. The sensor in the ceiling is beeping. I think there might be the fires of the apocalypse outside right now. We can't see it. Narrator, what exactly have you done by inventing this button? See, this is why you should never act on impulses. It's a regrettable thing. I know from experience.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course,
I think he needs a
anyone
moment.
can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness.
It is real depressing, this ending, right? Is he asleep again? God, how long is this going to go on for? Until the world actually ends? Jesus. How much did Kevin Brading actually record for this ending sequence? Good lord.
The end is never the end, is never the end.
Oh God.
Is never the end, 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 is never
God, that's
the
creepy.
end, is never the 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 end.
Is no one going to come to rescue us? We're just stuck here. It's just kind of like an apocalypse scenario. So it's kind of like this Adam Sandler movie Click, except, oh, the pipes are leaking. It's kind of like the Adam Sandler movie Click, but only depressing parts. God. Huh. Oh. And the apocalypse is actually coming now. The rooms are starting to deteriorate. God. What is happening outside in the world right now? We can't even tell. Is this... Can the fan stop running? God. This is kind of scary, actually. Sunlight? It's not quite an escape yet, though. Guess we need to wait another several years until the wall deteriorates all the way on that one end. God, this is terrible. We're literally facing an apocalypse right now, I think. Oh. No, it's greenery. Oh boy. The button looks lit up even without needing to press it. How is this button so durable? It's still working through all of this. Like, that's my question. It's like, is the narrator immortal, or is he immortal? Or is he only alive as long as Stanley is alive? God. It's getting real deep here. Not sure I can handle this. Oh. Okay, now we're back into the apocalypse. What is happening out there? I don't want to stay here, it's scary. God. God, that's sending chills through me. It's the phantoms, they've woken up. Get me out of here. Oh. Escape! Is it gonna unpress again? Is it? Okay, attempted fate right there. I think we can actually escape now. God, that was kind of scary there for a bit. We can get out. Oh. Jesus Christ. We really went to the end of the world here. Narrator, what have you done by letting that one review get to you? God, what does Stanley do from here? I mean, he could begin the game again, but... Narrator, what have you done? Can I get on the roof of the room? It's all just flat land, but there's one room someone surviving. Can I get on the roof? No, there's an invisible wall. God. Narrator, what have you done? Oh. What was that? Oh, and that's the ending of that ending, I guess. Wow. That actually got kind of depressing there. Wow. Okay. Jesus. I was not expecting that. Wowee.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
That was certainly something. Wow. Well, is there anything else I've missed? Oh, what the? Oh. Okay, it's not it yet. There's still more. New content. You're wasting a lot of electricity in the sign. Okay. Wow. What's that? Like, that's a 3D model right there. It's nice. What do you think this time, narrator?
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
So did you fix what the devs did? Have you fixed the issue? Let me try my fan here. Getting a little warm. Right, what do you got, narrator? We'll skip past the museum this time. Okay. Alright, what do you got, man?
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh my god. It's amazing.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
My god. Time to wake up. There's new mugs and everything. The official sign. What is that? Ashtray. Testing 2 printers at the same time. That paper's seen better days. Got a retextured file box in Pool 2. There's a new chair. Got a Mac computer, apparently. Now we Mac, apparently. Was that in one of those pictures? The file boxes are white now. I can hear nature over there. The end is never the end. Again. Stanley Parable 2. 427. Investor Showcase. Stanley Parable 2. Welcome.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe?
Adventure
What does it
line.
even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
How much budget did you spend on this narrator? How much budget did this cost you? Some hash lines or something. 5 to 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20. 20. What is this about? It looks suspicious. This off pit. It's a painting texture. I just loaded it in photos. That's funny. That's funny. I like that. Who needs framed pictures when you have TVs, computer screens, water cooler? Could have been slightly retextured. Off painting D. That's what they call the painting textures for Counter-Strike. Very artsy rug. It's also a very sparse office. Like, imagine working here. You could use this as like a Counter-Strike map or something. Oh, glass door. Fancy. We got a new mug. Part 1. It's time to wake up again. Can't see what that mug says. There's a mug with a lot of writing that I can't read out. Never underestimate coffee enjoyed. Never underestimate a coffee enjoyer who left their cup by a leather sofa that faces a blurry room. Nice. Just a gallery here. 2. Oh, it's like a trophy statue. Maybe just a statue, not necessarily a trophy. Don't talk to me before I've had my sequel. They're back. 2 doors. Stanley Parable 2. Oh. New content is out. New content is in. No, new content is out. New content part 2 is in. Old and busted. Ultra Deluxe. New hotness. This level. Is that just the Unity level design? That's funny. Boring section of the chart. Cool red section of the chart. More new mug. If they don't start selling this as merchandise, it's a lost opportunity right there. More Stanley Parable, better Stanley Parable. Win-win. Sequential mind share. Paradigm shift synergy. Brick and mortar approach. Envelope client-centric marketing. The color red. Leverage. Holistic value. 1 to 2. 2 better than 1. Rain. 2 ferns. Very nice. Stanley Parable 2 logo ideas. the Stanley Parable 2. Like, Resident Evil, fancy curly cues, thin letters, a bit abstract. Thanks for attending my meeting in Comic Sans. Nice. I think it was actually a screen effect on here. I wonder how exactly they executed that. That was oh, it's projecting from this laptop. Is there a projector, or is it just a projection? It's a enlargement screen. They're very nice and artsy, but there's not really any substance so far. Narrator. It's kind of a museum. Stanley Parable 2. The second Stanley just doing paperwork. Stanley Parable 2. There's a question mark.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
All these new chairs and stuff. What is this? I saw the investor showcase. Yeah, I did. Crab, the ultimate sequel. Spy Crab? No, sequels are good. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham Asylum 2, City, Divinity, Original Sin 2, Doom 2, Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar, and Dark Souls 2. Top 2 I can verify they're good. The rest I don't have a whole lot of experience with. Some of them I haven't even heard of. The sequel to the Stanley Parable. It's like that screen I made for the Breath of the Wild sequel menu that I made. 2. Laptop. Every pause button is a Roman numeral 2. You're not wrong there. You are the sequel. You are Baba. I also not seen a lot of that. Excuse me. Oh, the rope is detached. That almost never happens. Value investors, it's way to the show floor. The end is never the end. New features. This is fancy. More vector chairs. Is that just a bus? There's a bus here. Dram City, man. Going to new content. Get in, loser. We're going to new content. No food. No falafel. Okay. Right. Narrator, why have you stored your new ideas so deep in here? This is a curb. I mean, it fits with the bus, I guess. Little sidewalk curb. Red stool. Those are retexture. That's an interesting light fixture. Ooh.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Can I jump freely yet? This is the kind of mall shutter for this door. This reminds me of Final Fantasy security breach. The size of the venue. There's never the end again. This t-shirt is the best new feature. Decorate. Oh, it looks very nice. Decorations. Reassurance bucket. The button that says the name of the player is playing the game. What? Excuse me. Oh God. What is that? Okay. Exclusive. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Hear your name in the game. That's new. Oh, now you've piqued my interest. Oh, the cold drinks are back. Enjoy the new features. I'm definitely interested in this.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want?
Really depth texture.
Course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
How is this going to work? Everyone's got one name. The official booklet. God, how is this gonna work? It's a lot of build up. What it's gonna do. Okay. Try it here. How does this work?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
My name is Jim, and I forgot my password to the Aperture Terminal.
Jim.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
My name is Jim, and Matt Hill needs to remind me of my password.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Okay, alright, that was fun. Fun exercise. Why is this pole disconnected? That's weird. Can I press it again? I can.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
it just clips through the floor. You didn't even try to make it subtle. Okay. It's a mood right there. Source engine mood. God, that chunky button though. Alright then. That was a fun attraction. What else have you got? That staircase is
I
tempting.
suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
No, please no screenshots. Whatever you say. Investor Showcase. The magazine. This year's hottest investment opportunities. Sequels. What's better than that? Nothing. Top 10 investors currently visiting the show floor. Oh boy. A whole new office. God, that carpet is horrendous. Don't do that, please. Red is new orange. Red carpet. What? Something's going on. Not Desk 999. That's by the door 420. The new updated ray traced more of the same but in a good way sequel to the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. What? There's many improvements. The work was put in. Reap the results. New features, new content, new ideas. That room looks the same. This is the store area. Storage. Consistent quality with just the right amount of change. Schween shaders. I have no idea what that means. The button that says the name of the player. Oh, that's we went there. Jump circle, infinite hole. Infinite hole, like Portal. 344. I have to see the Stanley cutout though. Excuse me, I saw it in the background. No, reassurance bucket. Stanley Parable 2. Oh, it's not solid. It's weird seeing a proper representation of Stanley up close like this, in game. There's this. Office decorations. Infinite hole. I want to see the bucket next. It looks very dramatic, but the Stanley statue in the back is probably more dramatic.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes,
Language.
the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Dear God.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, okay, just take this with me. Okay, we have equipment all of a sudden. That's a dramatic change right there. That's worth the admission. We just have a bucket
Does
now.
anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Alright then, you know what? I think I'll cut it off right there. Next time, we continue through this museum and see what else the narrator's cooked up. So until then, my name is Anchors Calls, Social Discussion Creations, and I will see you then. Thanks for watching.
Never the end is 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 never the end.